One. God, I've been excited for this what if for a long time. As you guys can see clearly on the screen, this is what if Deku had the Omnitrix. This is a what if me and my other writer Mimi worked on a year ago. So it's been a while since we have, and I've been trying to perfect this what if with her, but at the end I kind of had to take it on my own reins, make this one my own, and eventually I might make one just mine and her, so there might be multiple versions of this Omnitrix version of Deku is mine alone. I have thought of the story myself, so this is a solo project I've worked on. I might again eventually work on one with Mimi the Mad, one of my co-writers, who I really want to again work on Omnitrix with, but a different version compared to this. This is thanks for my 2-year anniversary. Since I'm a huge Big Fan 10 fan, I figured why not do this? And yes, Super, the other writer, I had a commission to draw me this thumbnail. I didn't want to do the same old thumbnails. This might be the thumbnails moving forward. For now, we're going to stick to the old ones, but certain ones, like Omnitrix here, will get the special treatment of having his own hand-drawn thumbnails. But for now, I want to just say thank you all for sticking with me for 2 years. Let's go to 3 years and to 3K. But without further ado, let's begin. We start in the depths of space, overlooking the Earth. As two ships approaches, as the much bigger ship is firing at the much smaller ship that holds the cargo of a great and powerful device. The small ship fires back at the bigger ship, however, trying to defend this cargo. Hull damage is at 20%, but everything is still operational. The drone turns to his master, whose head is looking like a squid. I want what is rightfully mine, and there is no one in this entire universe capable of stopping me. Back down to the Earth, where a green-haired boy was meeting his hero, All Might. He even learned his secret of his time limit and such. That his greatest injury. But despite all that, he had to ask him a question that has burdened him his entire existence. And ever since he was even deemed quirkless. But to only learn his idol what he had to say. I'm sorry, but you can't be a hero without a quirk. It's far too dangerous and you could die. Deku's world crumbled around him. Immediately, as soon as hearing those words leave his idol's mouth. Become a police officer if you want to help, kid. It's not as glamorous as a hero, but it's a noble profession. All Might, in his skinny form, would walk to his exit and turns back to look at the kid as he opened the door. It's not bad to dream, kid, but make sure they're realistic. As he would walk off to presumably carry away the villain he had captured. Deku was crushed. Even his hero, he thought he couldn't do it. Don't cry, damn it. You knew it was a long shot. As he tries to hold back his tears, they exploded. Jin was set off in the distance. He was about to run to see what had happened, but remembering what All Might said, decides just to walk aimlessly. Back in space. I want my prize. Even if you have to blow it up, the entire ship, I'll reclaim it from the debris. The warship hits the smallest ship, making it stop dead in its track. Sir, the ship's engine has been destroyed. Good. Tell Siphon to prepare the boarding party. Sir, our shield has been disabled. Impossible! The small ship fired a laser right at the bridge, greatly injuring its captain, and the warship fired back, blowing up the ship. As it was destroyed, a single pod was launched to the planet below. Back with Deku, he's been walking for a while and found himself in the forest, where him and his old childhood friend turned bully used to play, where his grandpa would go camping with him at, close by. What do I do now? Even All Might said it. I can't be here without a quirk. He would look up to the stars to see a shooting star at night. I wish I could be a hero. Deku watches as the shooting star makes a beeline towards him. What the? No, 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 no. He would start running away as the star crashes behind him, sending him flying and hitting a tree. What just happened? He looked back into the crater, seeing that the star made to only find is a pod. A satellite? So he goes down to inspect the pod. He inspects the pod from afar, but leans down to get a bit too closer look, to only fall into the hole, hitting his head to the side of it. Ow, that stings! The pod opens up with it a green glow illuminating the area. Deku would get up and look inside of it to see a watch. A watch? In space? But why? He would reach down for it. As he does, the watch lunges onto his left arm. Get it off! Get it off! He would run around freaking out, even grabbing a stick to try to pull it off. But it would just break. He would calm down a bit to try to figure out this situation rationally. Okay, this watch isn't coming off, but why would there be a watch in space? He examines the watch and tries to see what it does. He finds a button and presses down on it. So the sides pop up as there was a diamond-shaped emblem onto the center of the watch now, with a silhouette in the middle of a person who looks like he has 4 arms. Huh? What the? He turns the dial to see there's more, like a Mothman and a dog. About 10 different ones, ending on a fire-looking guy. What is this? So, I better not be messing with it right now. He presses down on the watch, thinking he would deactivate it, but only to have a green flash of light as his body changed into coal, and that his whole body would catch on fire. I'm on fire? I'm on fire! Deku would start panicking and do whatever he can to extinguish the fire. Once he realizes it's not hurting, he stops. Hey, I'm on fire. And it's not hurting. Man, I'm totally hot. Deku laughs to himself from the bad joke he made. Normally he wouldn't be making puns or jokes at a time like this, or never would, but something about him transformed just kind of got it out of him. He looks at his hand and noticing the watch is missing. Huh? Where's that watch? He looks around and sees it is on his chest. What the? Wait, did this watch give me a quirk? Am I Endeavor? Deku thinks hard on how he can see, and like his naturally he fired fire from his fingertips at a branch, breaking it off. No way! He gets excited and fires a fireball, blasting a hole through a tree. Woohoo! I can be a hero now! With this ability, then. Wait, how am I gonna explain Mom? How is she gonna recognize me? And how am I gonna explain I'm a fire monster? As he's worrying about this, the tree he shot earlier starts to catch on fire, as long as other trees around them. What? Oh no, 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 no! Deku tried to stomp on the flames, but that only caused him to spread out worse. Oh man, I'm in so much trouble. What do I do? What do I do? He thinks till it came to him. Backfire! I can start a new flame that snuffs out each other. He runs out of the tree lines to only fire at the whole bunch of other trees that hasn't been caught flamed yet. He watches as his handiwork as the two flames clash each other and slowly goes out. Okay, that probably is solved, but what about me? How am I going to explain this to my mom? That I'm... Suddenly, the watch on his chest starts to blink red as a flash of illumination around him turns him back to normal. Deku looks at his hands as the flash ended. Well, that solves that problem. As he noticed the watch back on his wrist, but see now it from its regular green to its red. Huh. Must have been a recharge function. But for how long? He starts to think about this, but he has people coming. Most likely heroes and fire department. Oh man, I gotta get out of here before they find me. He runs out, leaving the mess for the heroes to deal with. But as other people arrive, a man in a red Hawaiian shirt would see the sight himself and investigated with a fishman. Not sure what but not seeing anything out of the ordinary except for a pod. Back with Deku, running all the way back home, and he was out of breath. But it did, and got catched it as before he went inside. Sweetie, are you alright? Huh? Yeah, Mom, I am. Okay, but where were you? And what's with that watch? Deku looks down at it and thinks fast. Wanted from an arcade. That's why I was out so late. You know how it is. Well, okay, but I would like to know ahead of time next time. I will, Mom. Let me go and wash up. Inko nods as she goes back to what she was doing. As Deku does, and eventually he would go back to his room to sit down at his desk, looking at the watch, seeing it's green now. Huh, it's green again. Is it done cooling down? And what is this watch exactly? Is this some type of device that gives quirks for a certain amount of time? Examining it once again, trying to figure out how to open it last time, till he presses the buttons on the side, the watch pops up. I got it! Seeing the silhouette of the fire guy again, he was just a moment ago. He decides to grab a fresh new notebook that hadn't been written on and titled it Watch. Deku quickly got up and head outside. Mom, I'm gonna go out for a little bit. I'll be back. Okay, dear. Be safe. I will. Walks out into the nearby alleyway close to his apartment. Okay, let's see. Who was I earlier? That fire guy. Man, I should probably come up with a better name than Fire Guy. Fire Blast? No. Heat Blast? Yeah, heat blast works. He opens up the watch again to see the named heat blast and puts it down on the dial, transforming into him. Nice. I'm Heat Blast. Now, let's see. He looks at himself in a car reflection and trying to remember all the details to write down for Heat Blast later. Not wanting to accidentally burn up his notebook like Bakugo did earlier that day. Okay, then I think some target practice is in order. Deku grabs some trash cans and bottles and sets them up. So, set them over in a line. Set on a wooden board nearby. Heat Blaster would aim his fingertips right at it like a gun. And misses a few times, but he keeps trying it, getting better at it. Deku starts to even have a little fun while doing it, starting to do some trick shots. So, one was if he was a cowboy and had a holster to his side, doing a quick draw and firing a can off, then turning around over his shoulder, shooting and hitting the kid dead on, but also hitting the car from earlier. Oh no, not Mr. Bellman's car! He runs over to inspect the car. Okay, there's no scratches, that's good. He sighs in relief as he got up and had a hand on the hood of the car. But not knowing Mr. Bellman, the named neighbor, just whacks his car and it catches on fire. Oh no. He tries to blow it out, but only just spreading the fire to the top of his car. Oh man, Mr. Bellman's gonna kill me. For sure. He runs away from the blazing car. Said man came out to hear the commotion, but to only find his car was on fire. My car! Oh, this has Midoriya written all over it. The bellman ran off to get a fire extinguisher to save what's left of his car that he brought with him from over America a few years back. For context, when Mr. Bellman first moved to Japan, looking for a quiet place to run his store and enjoy his car, a 5-year-old Izuku came to greet him and then pointed out a spot he missed with a magnifying glass, to only set the car on fire just like now. Ever since then, he has been calling Deku walking disaster because he managed to destroy his car some way or another, and Bakugo was to blame for at least 25% of the times. But Mr. Bellman still blamed him. Up in space, the squid-faced alien is recovering from an earlier encounter. That earlier encounter nearly took his life. Is waiting for response about the Omnitrix by his second-hand man, Siphon. Report! Yes, Lord Vilgax. You will make a full recovery, but it will take several months. I do not care about that. What of the Omnitrix? We have located it, but seems the plumbers have grounded and have already got it. This battle nearly took my life, and now it's in the hands of the plumbers. Send down drones to the planet below when we have received a signal. Of course, Lord Vilgax. Just focus on recovering. Siphon would walk away to leave his healing master alone. The next day, after Deku transformed back, he written down all he could about Heat Blast and had a page for the watch itself, its time limits, and its how the way to activate it. But Bellman shows up shortly after to give him an earful. despite there being no evidence of him destroying his prized car, this time he still apologized and told him he would work off the damage, just like he has done before, doing various other tasks. So now it's the next day, with there no being no school for the day, so he can head straight to Mr. Bauman's store, which was in the Mosutafu warehouse district, little beyond the ways of the shopping district, which had been attacked by the sludge villain. When he arrived at the address, he sees all sorts of weird foods and things he'd never seen before, plus a lot of people with mutation-type quirks. He goes to the front counter in the center of the store, where Mr. Bauman is at currently. Mr. Bauman? What is this place? Never mind you. Don't need to know what this place is. You won't be here. You'll be making deliveries. In your vans? No, you don't even have a license. You will be walking to these addresses. Mr. Bauman gives him a clipboard. But this will take all day. I don't want to hear it. Now, put this on, and the cart is out back, waiting for you. Mr. Bauman would give Deku a hat and an apron that has the store's logo on it. He sighs and heads to the back of Mr. Bauman's store, where the cart was waiting for him, full of other people's packages around Mosutafu. And I was going to train on one of the other transformations, but instead I have to make all these deliveries to pay off Mr. Bauman. Deku thinks about it and gets an idea. Maybe there's a way I can do both. He looks down at the watch with a smile. Back on the warship. So, one of the drones had discovered a signal from the Omnitrix. Sir, the Omnitrix has been activated once again. I knew it would show up sooner or later. Triangulate its coordinates. Yes, sir, but the target is moving fast. Then locate it when it stops. And once you do, send down retrieval drones after it. Yes, sir. The ship fires pods down to the planet below. Meanwhile, Deku is currently a speedy blue and black lizard running around with the shopping cart all around Mosutafu at light speed. He had gotten all the signatures for each package he dropped off and made his way back to the store. As he would stop behind the store, as the blue raptor like being lifts up the visor. Man, this guy is fast. What should I call him? Accelerate? No. XLR8. Yeah, that works. Sounds similar, but still spelled differently. Accelerate would grab his notebook and write down on a new page his top speeds, looks, and powers. Even himself realizing he's not only fast, but he also thinks fast too, as he would use a reflection of Mr. Bauman's van, this time keeping away from it, as a way to draw himself in the notebook. After a few minutes goes by, the watch blinks red and flashes back to normal. After turning back to normal, he headed inside to Mr. Bauman's store, where he was dealing with a customer. Mr. Bauman, I'm back. Huh? Why did you break something? No, actually, I made it all deliveries, see? What? Let me see that. Mr. Bauman would take the board and sees all the signatures there. How did you manage to do this? Well, I have my ways. Deku hides the watch behind him in his back. Well, fine. I guess your debt is paid. So long as you don't break anything else. I promise I won't. Before he could even finish his sentence, a loud boom and crash was heard from the front of the store. Izuku, what did you do this time? What? But I didn't even do anything. Not this time, at least. Suddenly, the doors blows open of the front of the shop, revealing two drones flying in. Everyone runs out in panic as the drone scans the crowd of the aliens and finding their target, Deku, as they fly after him. Both Bauman and Deku sees them flying to the two of them and run. Bauman jumping behind the counter, grabbing his phone, making a quick call while Deku runs down aisles and aisles. As he questioning, "Why are they after me?" He keeps running, trying to dodge the lasers that were fired at him, ducking behind a couple of shelves as the robots pass away. Are they after the watch? That's the only reason I can think of. So why are they attacking innocents? I gotta put a stop to this, but how? Like it was waiting for Deku to think on how to stop them, the watch glows green, showing itself, letting him know it's ready to be used. Alright, I guess I'll have to use the watch to defeat them this time. Hopefully not do too much damage. Maybe Accelerate can help them. Deku opens up the watch and looks for Accelerate quickly. Before the drones can find him. Once he sees Accelerate, he immediately slams down on the watch. As the drones were looking around, they saw a flash of green. They could be seen by them. They headed towards where the light was at to only see a fish man with an angular antenna in a large jar. Then he looks at his hands and sees the fish scales and sharp claws.
What the? This isn't what I wanted. Why didn't it turn me into Accelerate?
As Deku questions why he isn't the transformation he wanted, the drones scan him and finding the Omnitrix on his right side of his chest. So without hesitation, the drone began to open fire. Deku seeing this rolling out of the way, but gets grazed by a shot.
Ugh, that hurts.
He holds his arm and takes a quick look at it. Sees only but a scratch, but the heat of the laser what made it really bad.
I think I need to take care of them fast before they hit me again.
The drone charges up another laser, but Deku quickly jumps up onto the drone and clawing it, taking out wires and even biting down on it some. After a second, it falls down.
One down, one due. Can't breathe. Why though?
Deku would grab the sides of his neck and feels gills on it. A realization comes to him just then.
I'm a fish man. Of course I can't breathe air. I need water.
Deku would gasp for air, feeling like he's suffocating. But that doesn't matter to the second drone as it comes at him. Deku seeing it coming at him with a buzzsaw around his body. But any way for him to breathe, he might eventually pass out, or worse, die from the lack of oxygen. He shakily gets up and prepares to try to fight, but something catches his eye. Above him, the two of them has water pipes for fire alarms.
I got a plan.
As the drone was about to hit him with its blade, the Deku jumps onto it on time and using it as a platform, hitting the sprinklers above, tearing it open with his claws. Water comes pouring down onto him. Taking a deep breath and coughing a bit, like he hasn't had a breath of fresh air in a while. He feels much better.
Okay. So, thanks for waiting till I rehydrate. Now let's finish this.
The drone comes back and aiming to end this. charging at him, attempting to finish him, but Deku would sneak underneath the drone as the buzzsaw would batter at him, and sending his claws up onto the drone. Once he got a grasp at it, he had his other hand go through it and tear it in two. So disabling it and tossing it to the side. Deku would breathe hard after that.
Was that the last of them?
He looks around to see the partly destroyed shop that was going to be causing him, mostly by the fact that drones were shooting.
I think so. Now time for my exit as... Well, I'm not sure who I should call this guy yet. But I did rip that drone in half with my jaws, so... Rip jaws?
As he was questioning this, he turns around.
Freeze! Right there!
The newly named Ripjaws hears someone yelling at him. But strangely enough, the voice sounds familiar to him. So he gulped and raised his hands up, turning to the voice as his jaw hits the ground in shock.
Grandpa Max?
The old man, who was wearing a red Hawaiian t-shirt, looked at him confusedly, holding up a blaster, along with his partner, who also looks like Ripjaws.
Do I know you or something? It's me, Grandpa. Izuku. Izuku Midoriya.
Max looks at him with shock in his eyes.
Izuku? What happened to you? That's a long story, Grandpa. But who's that guy? And why are you here aiming a gun at me?
Oh boy, this is a bit awkward. Izuku, let's have a talk. Back on the warship.
What do you mean? The drones were destroyed.
The scout drones reported that they had came in contact with the Omnitrix. It was bonded to a human. Thus, he used it and destroyed the drones.
It seems I've underestimated this backwater planet. Very well. Send down the Walker drone.
At once, my lord. The ship sends another much larger drone to the planet below. Meanwhile, Deku and Max had left Mr. Bauman's shop to sit inside the rust bucket and left the paperwork to his partner, which Deku gets to know him as Patelade. The rust bucket was a rusted mobile RV that Deku would often question why his grandpa would live in it. But he loved the thing nonetheless still. Just like his grandfather did. But Deku also had to explain how he was in the forest and where they camped and played. But a satellite hit nearby him and, well, had the watch that is on his wrist now. So that's what caused the fire. It was you. Yeah, not my finest moment, to be honest. Well, luckily you stopped it from spreading any further, even though you did cause it. Yeah, but why are you here? Mr. Bellman called me in Battalion because he said a robot and you were wrecking the store. That's not true. Okay, the robot wrecking it, yes, but they were chasing me because of the watch. And you said you tried to remove it, but it stuck to you? Yeah, at first I did, but gave me quirks, Grandpa. They're not quirks, they're aliens. Deku looks at him, wondering what he means. I was afraid this day would come. But Izuku, aliens are real.
It seems you can transform into them with that device that claps around your wrist. What? But that's impossible. Yeah, well, so is leveling a city with a punch, but All Might seems to be able to do that. Deku thinks about it for a moment and realizes it makes a lot of sense. The heck, most quirks could be mutation quirk could just be aliens in disguise. If what this story is what he thinks it is, those people weren't people, they were just aliens. So, okay, if aliens are real, how do you know so much about them? Well, I work with a group called the Plumbers. They're law enforcement all over the universe, and I'm part of their group, actually. I'm the head of this sector, actually. That's so crazy to think about. Yeah, and it seems you've been thrusted into the middle of this world now, Zuko. Yeah, so what happens now? What do you mean? Well, are you going to take away the watch from me? He holds on to the watch tightly around his wrist. Well, I should. But considering there's no actual way I can remove it, I suppose you can keep it. Really? This isn't breaking any rules or something? No. Every jurisdiction have their own rules, and Earth isn't any different. With how quirks are been around, you can say it's your quirk you recently unlocked. And I'll help you train it. But we still gotta keep the fact that aliens are a secret, and the watch's true purpose too. Okay, I can keep a secret. So Deku smiles down at the watch, excited and happy that he gets to keep it. His own kind of quirk. No, quirks in fact. But the Rust Bucket radio starts to play on the police patrol cast. All units, please advise, there is a giant robot in Mosutofu, nearby the shopping district. Heroes and Backdraft are back here, but we need backup. We need heroes. The signal cuts off. That sounds like the droids attacked me. They're in trouble because of me. I gotta help them. No, Zuko, we got to. Come on, I can drive us there in no time. Max and Deku gets there, and RV drive off to the scene. At Mosutofu shopping district, where the police is holding up a barricade to keep the robot at bay, with all they can. Where are the heroes at? They're on their way. We should need to hold them off. How? The robot tosses a car at them, hitting the police car in front of them, pushing it back and making the police officers back off. We all gotta fall back. No, we can't. We have to hold it here, so it doesn't get any further. Don't worry. Is that why? All the police officers looked over to see a bluish-green diamond-looking man standing before them. For I am here. Internally, Deku thinks it kind of came out to All Might's catchphrase, but whatever. Who are you? So, are you a hero? Yeah, I'm a Diamondhead. The newly named Diamondhead sound proud, but the police doesn't recognize the name and thinks it kind of corny. Lame, even. But they don't have time to think or even say that out loud, as the giant robot is rampaging, and just glad that someone is here. Get the civilians to safety. And I don't know what this thing can do. Or what I can do, really. Diamondhead rushes in as the police officer gets any civilians out of there as fast as he could. The robot would blast apart the street as waiting for his target. Hey, over here, you tin can.
The robot stops to see Diamondhead, and he spots the Omnitrix on his chest. The robot immediately fires at Diamondhead, but in reflex, he holds up his hands, hopefully to block the blast somehow, but instead of his hands form themselves into sharp objects that reflect the blast at a random direction. Diamondhead was confused till he looks at his hands. Cool, I can sharpen them in 2 different ways. Suddenly he was side hit to a police by the robot, hitting a police car and falling down on his knees. As he's there, he thinks, how could he use this power? How does it work? But decides to take a risk. He gets up quickly and rushes at the robot, standing in front of him. Hey, burn one right here, come on! Pointing at his own chest as the robot aims a laser at him. As everyone wonders, what is he doing? As the robot blasts at Diamondhead, he holds up his hands as the laser hits his hand, pushing him back some, but making spikes on his feet to keep him from going any further. What goes around comes around. Let's see how you like it, you techno freak. He moves his hands and making the laser reflect off of them, perfectly hitting the robot, cutting him down in half and blowing it up. Way to go, diamond-headed guy! Max yells out as other people start to cheer as well. The Diamondhead turns around with a smile, having his hands on his side. All in a day's work. As he sees Max quickly telling him to leave before anything else happened. What? Must go now. See ya. He runs off as the police starts to work on the site, as he came to the site to help. As Max even leaves the location before anything else happens, returning to a rust bucket to see Diamondhead was waiting. So, how did I do? Not bad, but you'll get better. You did also get your butt kicked a bit down there. Diamondhead rubs the back of his head in awkwardness. Right. I guess I still have to work on that too. No, we gotta work on this. Meet me tomorrow before school at Dagobah Beach. Okay, but what do I tell Mom? I'll figure that out, the details about your quirk. But for now, get some rest. It's been a long day. Alright then. Back in the warship, Siphon has returned to his master. Lord Vilgax, it seems that the drone has been defeated. This human doesn't know who he's messing with. No matter. I will have my prize soon enough. I'll just have to make a few calls. End of part 1. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this part. And I didn't think Vipjar's or Vilgax's or even Heat Blast's voices would make my throat sore. So sorry about that if I had to take some drinks. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this what if, as I said. I'm definitely going to enjoy it, but I won't continue to record any extra parts to it until after we finish up at least either Goblin or Toma and Deku switch places. Only reason is because I want to keep it to 3 what ifs at a time. This is only because I wanted to get people hyped up for this what if, and because it was a 2-year anniversary what if too. I believe it's actually 3 years, but who knows? I started around this time. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. I will also keep releasing artworks of Super to the channel, such as you see here now. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Cyber out. Peace.